Hey everybody, hello. Time for another midweek chat. I'm back from the great Pacific Northwest, and we have our own beauty here in Wisconsin, don't we? It is something though. 2 days ago I was sitting at Mount Rainier National Park just watching this huge, this big mountain and sipping on a can of V8 juice, and life is pretty good, But yeah, so I was here once before for the chat, and it's different in the summer. I could barely, it's a lot more growth. I think my legs are getting chewed alive by insects that like this. It's a trout stream. People come here and I think they fish for trout. I don't think of Wisconsin as a trout place, but I guess it is if you're a fisher and you can find them. So anyway, hey, so I got this really cool new shirt today. Can you see it? Oh gosh. I think 2 weeks ago, my last chat in Wisconsin here before I went away to, can you see? It says Texas, underneath it says 4,000. And this is a 2016, sure, there it is, Texas 4,000. So that was the group we hosted. There was 24 bikers, and they stopped at St. James to rest. They had biked 120 miles from Stevens Point. And Beth Cerny fed them a Mexican buffet. And I don't think I shared any of this. And then they were eating away, and they were just a great group of people, really inspiring. And then they're all between ages 19 and 25. And I think all of them were from the University of Texas. And they were bicycling from Austin to Anchorage. And that's why they call it the Texas 4,000. It's 4,000 miles. And they do it in 70 days. To raise money for cancer research and cancer prevention education. So anyway, and then we're eating. They arrived at 7:30 p.m. It's probably one of their shortest stops of their 70 days was in Eau Claire, because they arrived at 7:30 p.m., ate at about 8. And they had 2 trucks. One had all their sleeping gear and stuff like that. So when they biked, they could just bike with their bodies and these cool shirts that they had. And then while we're eating, so when do you want breakfast? Because Kelly Boudry had volunteered to feed them breakfast. And without, really raising an eye, they said 4:30. So then we got to call Kelly and say, Kelly, guess what time they want breakfast? And 4:30. So she did it without really batting an eye. Good soul there. And then they were off at 5:30. And I told them, I had told them before, I said, I'd like to ride with you at the beginning. And then I heard they're leaving at 5:30, and I started having second thoughts. So I told the guy, I said, well, if the Holy Spirit wakes me up somewhere between 5:05 and 5:15, I'll get up and I'll join you. I woke up at 5:10 the next day. Can you believe it? So yeah, it's not exactly a proof for God's existence, but it doesn't exactly dissuade me. So yeah, I woke up at 5:10. I thought, oh gosh, darn it, Holy Spirit. And still easy to turn back and go to bed. I thought, well, I told the guy if I woke up then it would be like an act of God. So I thought I had to follow through. So I went over there, and Kelly was all smiles, and she bet the farm that I would not show up to everybody else. So I surprised her. And they had a nice, it's a group that, a lot of them are Christian, some were Catholic. They love the fact that we were at a church. They don't always stay at churches. And some like to pray in our church the night before and when they went to bed and everything. But, and they're different religions, I think, and probably some aren't religious. So they didn't have a formal prayer when they left, but they had a dedication, who they wanted to dedicate the day's ride to. And almost all of them had members of their family who died of cancer, and I'm sure most of those rides dedicated were already earlier in their journey, but some mentioned people like that, and others. But it's kind of neat. It was a real spirituality, a dedication of their rides to people. And I thoroughly enjoyed riding with them. I was in the Taylor Swift group, and so the lead, it sent us out in groups of 6. So the lead biker had, I don't know how they did it. Must have had Taylor Swift songs in his phone, and it was men and women, and a speaker tapped to his back or something. Anyway, it was great fun. There were just 6 of us. I was in the first group. We went down 11th Street, turned up Cameron, crossed Claremont, and went all the way to County H, south of Elk Mound, and then turned to County C, And I knew that I wanted to keep going. I just loved it. I was picking up their energy and their spirit. Such good people to sit and talk with at dinner, and couldn't meet a finer group of young people. It really made me happy. And that just to feel like part of them, part of what they were doing. And I thought I could make it back for 9 o'clock Mass and they were going to go 20 miles and then turn around. And then I was going to turn 20 miles and then rest. I thought, can I do that? That'd be 40 miles. I don't know. But honestly, the first 10 miles felt like 2 miles because of Taylor Swift and the spirit of everything. But I thought, I could do the 20 easy. And then when I turn around, I just would be alone and have 20 back. And I don't know. So I turned around after about 10. And, I think I reflected on this. I wrote an essay. It's on Facebook or my blog. But that turning around and that joy of the community and being with them, it instantly faded to this really kind of deep sadness. I'm alone now. And I was with them and I want to be with them. They were so joyful. I want to be part of what they were doing. And I was just kind of sad about it. It made me think, well, I got to, do more good things with good people. That's what life's all about, And particularly they were inspiring because I think they had this history of pain and loss. And that's why they were doing something good with that. They were turning that pain and loss into some service that could help others, to raise money for cancer research. And so if you want to check out their website, they're Texas 4,000. I would have got this year's shirt, but this year's shirt was $100. So I went on their website and they had some old shirts for $25. So I got one of those, They're pretty tight, these biking shirts. I don't know. I got a large one. There's no way. I put it on. It's like, okay, that's not going to work. So if anybody's more slender than I am and you like biking and you want a jersey, let me know. I'll keep the XLs, but you can have my L. All right. I don't know. I wasn't even planning on talking about that, but I was really inspiring to me. I'm glad we got to host them. Maybe we'll do it again next year. Father Manuel was with you last week when I was in Seattle, and I watched that, or I celebrated with you virtually online. So thanks to our videographers. I'm not sure if it was Steve or Don or Landon up there, but one of them or two of them did a good job. The only complaint I heard about Father Emmanuel, who's also pastor in Durand, was that his homily was a little short. So, so we'll get back on track with that next week. We'll get you a longish homily again. Okay. So, no, but he was well received. So glad. He came to visit us to talk about the capital campaign. So I did get to meet him. I knew he would be a good match for our community as he raised money for his diocese in Ghana. Speaking of Ghana, I've been reading this book, and they were talking about it's a little about history from an African American perspective, and this woman was writing. She said she was a black woman, and she said when she was in 5th grade, there was one other black girl in her class, and the rest were Caucasian, and they were asked to, it was like a history thing, to do something with their family history. And part of it was to draw a flag of a country, where their ancestors were from. And, so people, I'd do like Poland or Germany, I guess. And, people have their different places. But she said something, what are you going to do? I mean, we know we're from Africa, but we don't know where in Africa we're from. And I don't know, just kind of, it's one of those things, just opens your eyes a little bit to someone else's perspective and how we have to try to be sensitive to different people's experiences. Anyway, I just read that yesterday, thought I'd throw that in there. Hey, a lot of stuff going on at church today. I threw some pictures up on our Facebook. We got roofers. Our church roof is being fixed. They said about 3 more days, so you can come if it rains, the winds blow and the rains fall on this weekend. You can rest assured you'll be dry. Not so maybe next weekend though, because we'll have our outdoor mass Saturday at, when are we doing those? 6? Uh-oh, the tree is moving where my camera is. You can see it sway. It's pretty windy out, so this is a nice sheltered place. Oh, there's someone revving there. Oh, he's coming here to fly fish, I think. He's coming in. He's coming in here. Maybe we'll get a close-up look. So anyway, We got a new roof coming. We had Vacation Bible School going on from 2 to 4 today. Beth did a good job. Kelly wasn't feeling so good, so Beth kind of did the whole thing. Oh, I intimidated the motorcyclist. He pulled in and he left. Shoot. There's one more pop-up VBS session, Vacation Bible School. It's going to be about a month away, 4 weeks. It'll be August 17th, 2 to 4 in the afternoon. So you can mark your calendars for that. But, hey, our young people don't have to sit around and do nothing next week, because on Wednesday, we're going to Loopy's. Loopy's is a bar, so we're not going in Loopy's. We are going to Loopy's, west of Chippewa Falls, and then renting some inner tubes, and we're gonna float down the Chip. We were originally gonna do this at Trigo. Well, Loopy's is like a 20-minute drive versus an hour, 20-minute drive. So we'll see what that's like. And we'll meet at Loopy's at 2 o'clock. Now, if you wanna go and you're like, I can't get to Loopy's, I could get to St. James though, let us know. Then instead of just driving directly up to Loopy's, Beth or I, you can go with us, okay? So that's no problem. And we're gonna have pizza afterwards. I don't know if you can have the pizza if you don't do the tubing. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna play hardball on that. But okay. But Kelly's a soft touch. You could probably get some pizza. Okay. Religious ed teachers. So since we're talking about that, religious ed teachers. So that's on Wednesday nights. It's the students who aren't enrolled at Regis Catholic Schools come to religious ed on Wednesdays. We got a great program. And we need some teachers though for it. We need 3 to 5 teachers. We're still waiting to hear back from 2. That's why it's the or 5. But for sure we'll need 3. And 2 of the teachers that we need are at the first grade level. So if you like the little ones especially, feel like you have a good ability to connect with them and teach them, and that'd be great. That'd be great. Great thing to do. So those are a couple things. We got Summerfest coming up. Big deal. We had a little discussion on the staff. I guess I've been reverting to calling it a fundraiser. I don't think of it as a fundraiser so much. I think why I've been maybe referring to it as fundraiser as is because the raffle rules changed. So I've been talking about the raffle, and the raffle is in fact one of our better fundraisers of the year. It certainly was last year. But I hope I'm not giving the impression that it's not a community parish celebration event. I mean, that's mainly why we have it. I don't think it started just so that we could have a fundraiser. I thought it'd be good. People get around fundraisers. It's always nice to be able to do that. But it's a community event. So as you're thinking about what to do with that, your summer and the weekend of the 13th and 14th of August, try to carve out some time to stop by. Saturday night, we have the outdoor mass. Then we'll have dinner. I'm going to play the guitar while your people are eating dinner. It'll either help or inhibit your digestion, but it'll have some effect, I'm sure. And they're limiting me. They said, we don't want you to play very long this time, just during dinner, because you got to get out of the way so bingo can start. So mass will be like at 4:30. I think that this time mass is outside at the usual time at the 4:30 mass. The other times we have outdoor mass, we add it, but for Summerfest, because traditionally it's been our outdoor mass at 4:30, so it'll be at 4:30. So we have a regular outdoor mass add-on July 30th, and then we have our Summerfest outdoor mass at 4:30 on August 13th. So that'll be good. Okay, and then we'll have dinners and eats at 5:30, and then bingo will start at 6:30. And this will be fun. We had Christine. Someone said, "Christine, are we doing bingo?" She said, "Yeah." And Ann said, "What? You can't do bingo? We don't have a license. You got to have a license." And she's like, "I can't get this ready. I'm going to be gone next week." And a normal reaction. It's like, you can't have it. You can't, and I don't have time to set it up. And so we decided, let's say, why don't just make it not with money. I play for the thrill of victory. I don't pray for $1. I play for the thrill of victory. So I'd like to play. And so maybe we can have little trinket games, but you don't have to pay to play. Just show up, get some bingo cards. That'll be good, won't it? I think, honestly, it might be better. Because I don't think we made a ton of money on bingo. And Why not just have fun with it? Forget about the money part. So that'll be good. 6:30, August 13th, outside, God willing. What? Okay, hey, so olive oil. I called my friends in Bethlehem from the L'Arche community where the intellectually disabled make crafts. It's the Christmas crafts that we have been selling each year before Christmas. I'll have to order some of those in August too. But I thought, well, last time we got so much olive oil at once, it was too much, it was too heavy. So yeah, let's get it in shifts. So we got 20 bottles of olive oil from Bethlehem while I was gone. So one of them spilled in transit. So Sharon did a little de-oiling, like when there's oil spills, and I shouldn't joke about it. It's so sad when there's oil spills, and the waterfowl have the oil, and volunteers come and spray them with Dawn and clean them up. Well, Sharon was trying to do that with the woolen sheaths that the olive oil was in. Anyway, the olive oil is in good shape, except for the one bottle that didn't make it. It was plastic. It's not like there was sharp glass anywhere. But so we have the large bottles, $40, and they're in that laundered sheath. Medium bottles are $30. It's either a liter or 500 milliliters, and it's good stuff. I think I like it a lot. I'm not just saying that. I think people bought it like it a lot. So if you like one of those, there's just 20 bottles that we got, 19 actually. So let us know. They're available. What? So I was in Seattle last week, and just I mentioned I did the chat from Seattle last week. I mentioned the plane ride over. The plane ride back was, I thought it might be a similar situation, being asked to leave my window seat. But I had a window seat on the right side of the plane, so I could see Mount Rainier going out, and it was good. It was smooth. It was a little bit of a delay because there was a bird that flew into the engine on the flight into Seattle, the same plane we were going to take. And so whenever the bird flies into the engine, they have to do a lot of checks and paperwork and stuff. So we were delayed a little while, and then we circled Minneapolis once so we could land. But it was good. I got to see the confluence of the St. Croix and the Mississippi River from the window. But the friends were great. They're so busy. They got so much going on. They got their families. The place I was staying, they're going to sell their house in a month, and they're moving into a new house this week. And so kind of a lot of stuff going on there. And they were so kind and welcoming to me. And I left them a little gift. I left them my iPhone adapter, lightning cord, and a USB adapter. You can keep it, Steve, because I'll get a new one. I always leave those things behind. Isn't it sad? And then Jim and I went camping and e-bike riding with his son, and we talked e-cars a lot. He's an e-car enthusiast. He has a Chevy Bolt, and he's been touting e-cars for a long time, the electronic automobiles, right? I'd really like to get an e-car my next one, but I'm just anxious about it. The charging and the range, and having to stop to recharge, and adapting your own home so it has a high current. I don't mean to be negative about it, because I think it's awesome. And there were a lot of e-cars in Seattle, I'll tell you. So I think more and more you'll see them, and people will be making them. I don't know. Anyway, something to think about. What do they got? The Nissan Leaf. He has the Bolt, the Teslas, of course. He said Ford makes two of them, but they're kind of out of price range. They do a Mustang and an F-150. Isn't that cool? And he said Honda and Toyota are behind the ball because they were investing in hydrogen or something like that, not EVs. And so the public taste or the demand went to EVs, and Toyota and Honda weren't ready for that. So I think I got that accurate. Anyway, we had to stop on our way back from Mount Rainier and charge, but it just took a little while. It wasn't a big deal. I'm sure we had a charging station. We visited on a Parish bike ride last time on the corner, right across the street from the farmer's market in Eau Claire. Anyway, so speaking of, what was I just speaking of? Fuel? Well, moving on. So, oh yeah, and I got to meet with Anita and Frank. Anita was a master of social work. That was basically my boss when I worked at Seattle Mental Health for a couple of years there in the 80s. And they're in their upper 80s now, and it was just a joy. They took me out to a nice place called Ivar's Salmon House on Lake Union with the view of the Space Needle. She said, I think I wrote this in the bulletin, but she said, you know what's funny? I was supposed to be an expert in older adults and aging and mental health. And now I am one. I'm in my upper 80s, and I realized I didn't know anything when I was in my 40s and 50s, even though I had the degree, you know, and just the pain people go through, the sadness, the loss, the limitations, not being able to do what you used to do. So I've heard her say that a few times. She goes, I didn't have a clue what it's like to be old, and I was supposed to be the expert. Now I do, and I don't like it. Speaking of older adults, my mom turns 92. Happy birthday to my mom. She does not watch these chats, but maybe you'll run into her and you can say happy birthday. So I'll be there. Her birthday's on Saturday, so I'll go Sunday. She's doing well. And she's not crazy about being old either, but she seems pretty happy. She's got things that she likes to do, and you know. Then I got to visit a friend who I knew in Menominee and who moved out to Seattle. And we had coffee in the afternoon. And it was just really a good conversation about struggle. She moved out there right before the pandemic. She didn't know anybody. At work was hard. I don't mean to be telling tales, so I try to speak anonymously. It's positive things that I'm saying. Really a great person. And I said, well, where'd you find the strength to keep going if things were so hard? Her boss was unkind, not her current boss, but kind of demeaning, you know, just so no friends, a boss that was demeaning, new place, COVID isolation, all that stuff. You know, where'd you find the strength to endure? And one thing she said, I just had to. I mean, it was my job, it was my field. If I wanted to be in this field, there weren't a lot of opportunities, so I just had to kind of stick it out. So I thought, well, there's that, right? I was on I was with my fitness guru the other day on video, and she was like calling out how fast you have to go on your bike and all that stuff. And this is for endurance, to do these you know, spin-ups on your bike. And I've done a lot of reading and on the research in endurance. And, you know, the way to build endurance is to endure. So, you know, there's not like a secret to becoming good at endurance. You have to, in order to be good at endurance, you have to endure. To be good at withstanding pain and loss in your life and still affirming life and moving ahead and having a positive momentum to your life, you have to experience all that and find a way to do it. You have to endure. There's no book learning. I suppose some ideas can help along the way, like the one I just said. So you might, if you're in a place where you're finding life a little hard to endure, know that the only way that you'll be able to get better at enduring is to get through it. You know, and to not turn to too many distractions, especially ones that are harmful to your body, mind, and soul, that ease the pain but deaden the spirit, you know, but to endure in good faith. Not so easy. And then in a PS, she said, I thought of one other thing that gave me strength in dealing with my boss. As unpleasant as it so often was, he said, every day I tried to get up and say, I'm going to approach this person and our interactions today with love. And she said it made a great difference. And she also said, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done, which intrigued me. So I'm waiting for a response, but I sent a letter like, why was that hard? Because my first thought is it might have made it easier. I think in the long term it made it easier, but in the short term it was hard. So I'm kind of curious to hear more about that. I love talking to people that have suffered and have gotten through it and have grown wise and knowing their wisdom, so I can learn myself and so I can share it with others. The same person who said the only way to get better at endurance is to endure, she also said, I've never met anyone with an interesting life who hasn't suffered a lot. I haven't met anyone with an interesting life who hasn't suffered a lot, So, take that. Oh, what else might I say? I'd sure like to finish before. I won't say too much. So it's Mary Magdalene week. Is it tomorrow? Today's Wednesday, yeah. So Friday is the feast of Mary Magdalene, big saint. I don't know. What do you think of Mary Magdalene? I don't know if I thought of her as a prostitute or not, but that's a lot of people do. That never even came up in history until the year 591 when Pope Gregory the Great mentioned it. But it's not in Scripture that she's a prostitute. So it says she was close to Jesus. She had 7 demons expelled from her, so maybe people thought that. I have a great icon of her. I would have brought it if I thought in advance. It's of her standing. There's a group of 11 apostles standing there, and she's standing apart from them but looking at them, and she's holding up her hand to them and teaching them. And what's she teaching? She's teaching the Lord is risen. I've seen him. He's risen. Because unlike them who kind of ran away at the crucifixion, Mary and some others stayed, and they knew where Jesus was, and she went back to the tomb and had that conversation with Jesus. Thought he was the gardener. Just a lot of nice Mary Magdalene stories out there, but that's really one of the nicest ones. It's so vulnerable, and she thinks he's the gardener and says, "Sir, they've taken the body of my Lord, and I don't know where they put it. Do you know? Tell me. If you know, tell me, because I'll take care of the body. I'll take care of him. He's a friend of mine. I want to take care of his body." And he says to her, "Mary." Just says her name, and then she knows who it is. And she says, "My Lord and my..." No, Thomas says, "My Lord and my God." She says, "Rabboni," maybe. I forget exactly what she says, but she knows who it is. And she wants to, it's strange because she wants to give him this big hug, "Jesus, it's you, Rabboni, master, teacher." And he said, don't touch me. I've not ascended to the Father yet. Some deep meaning there. I don't know what it is. But. And then I'll just mention that it's St. James the Greater, our patron saint, on Monday. Because I'm going home for my mom's birthday, I won't be around. She probably had an extra mass and had it on Monday for our feast day. But I think maybe at our outdoor mass next week, July 30th, we can have some fun and mention St. James the Greater and celebrate that way then. So, okay, I'm going to finish before 30 minutes. Still, I'm hoping for 20, but I got going on this Texas 4000 2016 group. So. Anyway, I'll let you take in this beautiful scene here at the creek off of West Folsom, far West Folsom, getting toward County H. So I went down to the river to pray, studying about those good old ways, and who should wear the starry crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down and come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about those good old ways, and who should wear the starry crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down and come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about those good old ways, and who should wear the starry crown. Good Lord, show me the way. God bless you.